It's that time of the week, everyone. It's WOR time, and you join me as we get ready to go racing at Spa in Belgium. I'm very excited for this. We've had this in real life not long ago, and I mean, if you've seen the past two races, it's been absolutely thrilling. There's been a lot of DNFs, there's been a lot of action though, and that's what it's all about. But Spa, it's very, very much of a tricky track. These drivers are going to have to keep their focus on point, may I say, as one slight mistake can cost you hundreds or thousands or even seconds of times, especially through the tricky Sector 2 section. There's obviously you've got Lecom, you've also got No Name, which is really easy just go a bit wide and hit that gravel and just really ruin your exit speed through there. Also, Puon, get that wrong, get that invalidation, or even get that track's limit. Really easy to do around Spa, and I won't be surprised if you see a little bit of argy-bargy, lots of elbows out. And you know what? Let's get onto the track map, and you guys can see for yourself as we have Spa, you know. A 7-kilometer long track with 19 turns. You have the fast section of Eau Rouge Radion, also Puon and Blanchemont, also the slow, really slow tightening corners of La Source, Lecom, the bus stop chicane, and also that tricky Sector 2, right in the middle of Sector 2, may I add. It's all about the exit speed here around Spa-Francorchamps. I'm not joined by Hyperactive yet again, but it is fine. We can do it solo. We're just waiting for the drivers to join into the lobby. Now, talking about the drivers, let's move on to those driver standings, as it's been a little bit of a mix-up with obviously Williams getting amazingly a 1-2 in Spain, with also Haas scoring their first points of the season, getting a third and a fifth. Matthew Roberts and Jake Finch both doing absolutely amazing, both opting to stay out after that second full course safety car, and it worked out wonders for them as they both got in that top 5, and that's what you love to see. Pointless in round 1 and bouncing back in round 2. That's what WR is all about. It's all about redemption. Absolutely breathtaking, may I say. Also, Nick Arrow, the reserve driver, the winner of Australia, was unable to get another win, as Jan Luca, the man that got a podium in Australia, he won it, and Nick Harrow got an unfortunate DNF. And I mean, talking about DNF, there's quite a lot recently. I think we had about half the grid in Spain DNF, and in round 1 it was almost the exact copy. You could have said it was a duplicate race, but no, it was very interesting from the get-go. We had a lot of carnage going through turn 3 on Spain, and it did cost a lot of drivers. I think one of them even DNF'd. I think it was Sinan, who was driving in the Mercedes, joined by James Watts. So Mercedes did not do well. They are still pointless in this season. Same with the Racing Bulls. As obviously Racing Bulls, their two main drivers haven't shown up, but one of them DNF'd in round 1, which is never ideal. Talking about the points though, Jake Finch with that with that P3 in Spain, he moves himself up to the 5th standing spot. Jan Luca is taking away the lead by a massive margin of 12 points. Now, in my eyes, 12 so far is massive. He's on 40 points going into round 3, with his teammate Amos in the background with 28 points. Only 3 points ahead of Nick Arrow, as Amos was able to get a P5 and then a P2. It was a 1-2, like I said earlier, for the Atlassian Williams drivers, which is amazing to see. Scott is still in that P4 spot with that P2 in round 1. I don't think he's going to be here yet again from round 3, but he should still be in that top 7 range after today's race. Harrison also in that top 7 range in P6 with a 4th place. He's on 12 points. He's also joined by Kevin, who is also on 12 points, after having a quite consistent 2 rounds of 8th and then a 6th. Let's see, maybe could he go for a 4th? Let's just find out. He is joined by Sinan in today's race, the guy that got in that massive carnage of turn 3. Don't know if he was at fault. I think he just sort of got forced off. They were 3 abreast. It was spectacular until it wasn't, may I say. It seemed like amazing racing, and then all hell let loose. Matthew Roberts, with his P5, he was being able to jump into that top 10 in the driver standings, and he sits comfortably in ninth with Luis, the reserve. I believe his debut race was actually Spain, and he was able to get a P4, just beating Matthew Roberts on that final lap, with Matthew Roberts just having the worst tyres, as, like I said, Haas, both of them opted to stay out, and it worked wonderfully for them, both scoring at the top 5 points. Ryan Jacobs rounds out the top 10 in the drivers' standings with a 6th in round 1 and a DNF in round 2, which was so unfortunate because both of the Papa McLarens were looking really strong at a 1-2, and then a safety car came out. They both boxed. It was a double stack. Wilson Hall got really shafted from it, but he was able to bounce back and get a 7th, which actually puts him in 12th. As he's tied on points with Ryan in the 11th spot. Redmir's got an 8th in Spain, which puts him on a P13 spot. Sam Arling got a 9th in round 1. Alessandro got a 9th in round 2. And then both of the Red Bulls on 1 point, with Michael scoring in round 1, with his teammate DNFing on lap 3 after having a massive tumble in the final corner. And then for Herman scoring points in Spain, with Michael having a DNF in Spain as well. It was a very interesting Spanish Grand Prix. It's been a very interesting start to the season nevertheless. And let's hope Belgium can hold up to that title of being an amazing racetrack. I mean, we saw Australia and Spain hold wonderful racing. Bit messy, you could say the least. So let's hope Belgium's a little bit more cleaner. That's what I would love to see. I would love to see more than 10 finishers this race. We've got a stacked grid. I must say, there's a few reserves filling in. There's been someone that got promoted from the reserve spot, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. So let me run you through today's grid. In the Papaya McLaren of Ryan Jacob and Wilson Hall, both of them looking really strong in Spain. Let's hope they can carry that momentum and look strong in Belgium, because McLaren do need a few more points here. In the Ferrari, you have Kevin and Sinan. Very strong lineup. You know, Kevin being consistent in that point. Sinan, there we go. I can get it out now. Also looking very strong, just getting really unlucky, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. In the Red Bull, you got Herman and Michael. Very consistent in the mid pack. Let's see if they can hold up and try and get into that top 7 range and get some more points with that Oracle Red Bull team. In the Mercedes, got Nick Arrow and JW. Nick Arrow obviously winning round 1 in the Mercedes, and JW getting very unlucky, I must say. DNFing, I believe, in both rounds. I don't know, did he DNF in both rounds? Let me find him. Yeah, he did, which is really unlucky. We know he's got the pace. We know he's a really strong driver. He's just getting so unlucky, and that's what you don't want to see. But it's first 3 rounds. The championship is still wide open. Jan-Luca is massively ahead, though, so it is going to be quite a challenge for everyone to catch up, especially with the pace he's been showing in the first 2 races. In the Aston Martin, you have Redmir's and Luis. Very strong lineup. I'm hoping Redmir's can score some cracking points after he had a lot of pace in Australia. I just think he couldn't really, with the packs breaking up, he just couldn't really progress forward. And Luis also looking really strong with a 4th in the Spanish Grand Prix. In Alpine, you have Sam Arling and Alessandro. Very strong lineup. Let's see what they can do in today's race. Alpine near the bottom end of the drivers, I believe. No, in the constructors, down in 7th, only getting 2 points, and that was from round 1 with Sam Arling. In Haas, you have Matthew Roberts and Jake Finch. We saw these guys absolutely cook with the strategy. Let's see what they can do in Belgium, as I'm really excited to see. Belgium, you can do a 2-stopper. It's more so better with a 1, but it wouldn't be a shock if we saw some drivers do a 2-stopper. So I wonder what Haas have up their sleeve today, and I'm really excited to see. In the Racing Bulls, you have Christoph, Goddard, and Axel. Let's see. Let's hope Racing Bulls can actually get some points onto the table today, as I believe there was a reserve that got points, but as a reserve, you don't score points for the team, it's only for the drivers. So let's see if Racing Bulls as a team can score some points. In the Williams, you have Jan-Luca and Amos. 1-2 in Spain, a 2-5 in round 1. Let's see what they can produce in round 3. Could it be another double top 5 for them, or could it even be another double podium? and the singular kick Sauber drive of George Ansel, getting the promotion from reserve to main, I believe. Let's see what he can produce, and let's just hope he can score some cracking points for the kick Sauber team. I'm excited, and I hope you all are as well. We're just readying up and getting ready to go into the lobby. How's everyone's day doing? Let's talk to you guys. I've done a lot of yapping so far. How's everyone's day doing today? I'm hoping you're all doing well, as we've got quite of a good race. I hope you guys are all having a nice summer break as well. I think there's some people, depending where you are in the world, some people may be going back to school or going back to work. But I do know here in the UK, we are nicely in the summer holiday. So just wondering how you guys are doing. You know, you guys show the support to the stream. We gotta, you know, show a little bit of support to you guys. We do appreciate everything you do for WOR. And, I mean, Season 21, I can't wait to see what's going to happen at the end of this season. It's looking very spicy. I still can't put my finger on who's going to be the winner. It's quite tricky for me to say. And I'm not picking any favourites, but Jan Luca looking very, very strong. But also Amos. I mean, don't keep your eye out on Amos here in today's qualifying. Also, let's keep an eye out on those two Haas drivers. They weren't near the top end of qualifying. I believe they were sort of in that top 10, in between, you know, 13th and 7th. But I believe, you never know, they have a hella race pace with getting that 3-5. Almost could have been the 3-4. But just with how the tyres worked and stuff, it wasn't. We're in qualifying now, waiting for the drivers to get out on track. And it looks to be dry, which is very, very lovely. As you never like a wet spa. It's very tricky, and it makes the lap times go from a 1 minute 40 down to around a 2 minute. Let's talk about what sort of lap times we may be seeing in today's qualifying. I believe we'll see it around a 1 minute 40 low, maybe mid. It really just depends on the track conditions, the weather conditions as well, heat and where the wind's coming from. We'll probably see a bit more in the 40.5 minute, 1 minute 40.5 range. Wouldn't be surprised if we see someone maybe go a little bit low in today's qualifying session. It's a 22 lap race as well, so we may see a lot of medium hard, hard medium, maybe even a medium hard. Lot of strategy options in today's game, with obviously the increase of tyre wear and dirty air. The way how close you're being into that sector 2, it's gonna really put a massive toll on those tyres, as we are in the session now. And I'm just, if it wants me to, I would love to. There we go. Here we go, guys. We are in the nice, lovely qualifying session now. Watching not right. There we go. It wasn't connected. There we go. We have the drivers out. You have Jake Finch, who isn't the first one out. It's actually George Ansel, the man in the kick Sauber. Let's see. Oh, let me just do that and that. It should be a good qualifying session for today. I'm very excited. And unfortunately, Hyperactive is not here with me today. Let's hope he'll be with us for round 4. But let's keep our eye out on George, as he'll be the first one to set a lap, followed by one of the by Michael in the Oracle Red Bull racing car. In the background, you'll see him on the mini-map there in the bottom right. Just heating up the tyres as you make your way to the bus stop chicane. Got to take an alternate line to sort of set up for the run towards turn 1. It's a 2 DRS track. So maximizing the exits to use as much DRS as you possibly can is making your way down to turn 1, braking at the 100-meter board, down towards 3rd gear, flicking the car into La Source's inside curb to maximize the exit. You can use 2nd gear. It's all about driver preference. Absolutely attacking the curbs through a Rouge Radion, getting on that power really early to keep that minimum speed quite high. DRS flap open for the 2nd time in the lap. And you make your way down towards Lacombe, down towards 4th gear, using all of the curbs as possible. 30.2 is a really nice sector 1 there, as you can just see, using all of the track available As you make your way down a double apex corner. You hit the first one and you try and aim for a wider exit as you make your way through No Name. A slight lift down towards a 4th, 5th gear, depending on what you decide. Maybe even a break. Now through Poo on easy flat in 7th. Making sure you don't scrub off too much speed and you don't go too wide where you also take too much track when it's not needed. Through the Sector 2 chicane here, making sure you maximize the exit. It can be done flat on that final bit. It's just all about how brave are you feeling. Now through Sector 3, it's purple in the middle sector with a 13.2 or 1 minute 13.2. Not too shabby. I believe it's going to be absolutely rapid of a first lap for George. Through Blanchemont now, maximizing the track. We're going to be really low on the battery now, braking just at the 100-meter board, straightening the car out, going all over the curbs here through the bus stop chicane, back onto the power on the ERS. It's a 30.684 for George. Not too bad of a opening lap here. What about Michael? He comes through the bus stop chicane. Will he be able to say, you know what? No, let me get provisional pole as he comes towards the line. It's not going to be provisional pole, but it is going to be 2/10 off with a 40.822. It's the two Haas drivers. Jake Finch is up first. He goes up to P3 with his teammates going up to P3, just being him out by 3/10. They'll sit nice and comfortably in whatever spots they are. Ryan Jacobs goes up to P2. Not too shabby. A lot of drivers will be starting their laps as well as finishing them, as you've got the Alpine boys as well. Of Matt, he's going to be finishing his lap. We also saw Kevin there, P6 or P7 as now, as Wilson Hall joins his teammate in that top 3. Really nice, as you can see, the chrome livery on one of the Papaya McLarens. That's how you can tell the difference between the two, as the F1 has gifted everyone the chrome British Papaya McLaren we saw in real life. You can now use it in a multiplayer session. Amos is in P6, Senan in P8, Axel in the V-Carb is gone to P11, as Christoph is gone up to P7 with a 41.126. Jan Luca only able to find that 5th spot. It is still very close and not far off of George. George looking absolutely rapid, as he was able to set the fastest lap here on his banker, which is really nice to see. Who is up next? We've got Redmirs and Luis, both of them in 11th and 12th. Let's go on board with Nick Arrow here, as he's just coming through Sector 2. No, Sector 1. He's not on a lap. He's bailed out. I think he had a little bit of a mistake in the early part of Sector 2 here. And my game is very low. Let me turn that up for you guys. I'm so sorry. There we go. But let's ride on board with Matt, as he's coming through Sector 2 now. He's on the medium compound tyre, the only one to do so. This may be a good idea, almost maybe a bad, as you really want to save the mediums for the race, as softs just aren't really usable, as they only last about 4 to 5 laps, especially around Spa. You know, once you hit that 6-lap mark, you're already on about 35%. So save the mediums as best as you possibly can is going to be very crucial, unless Matt would have picked the balance allocation here. Down towards the bus stop chicane, he'll come in the BWT Alpine, using all of the curbs as possible. He won't actually, he'll miss both of them, and towards the line he will come. It's only going to be a 46.0. That'll put him in dead last of the people that have set a qualifying time here. Very, very close in the qualifying first lappers here, as you can see. 1/10. Oh, well, not 1/10. 1,000th separates the Papaya McLarens, and Michael is only 100th off of Wilson Hall there. So very, very close and spicy. 0.5 is Jan Luca off of Michael, and then it's about a 0.12 off is Matthew Roberts. So very, very close in this qualifying session. And what can you expect from Tier 4 here? As it's very lovely to see. Just waiting for, there we go. Jake Finch is out on the qualifying here. as you can just see in the MoneyGram Haas. I keep almost saying rich MoneyGram Haas because I miss the rich energy era of Haas. It was amazing. Beautiful livery. It reminded me of the Lotus. But now they are white, black, and red. A good look. Better than the Ukrali, or however you say it, back in 2020, 21. Just wasn't really a good look for me. I didn't like it. Didn't like the amount of blue that was on it. I do like this, though. It's a lot more cleaner, to say the least. And, I mean, it's just a nice car in general. It feels nice to drive on the F1 game. Because, believe it or not, in the F1 game, the cars sometimes have a different feeling. It's my personal opinion. I have a placebo effect on some cars where I drive worse. And let's say I'll drive worse in the Ferrari than I will in the Red Bull. It's because I prefer how the Red Bull looks and feels than how the Ferrari does. I've even been told that sometimes the setup is different from car to car. Some wings may work on, for instance, you could run 0-0 on the Haas, but you wouldn't be able to run it on, say, the V-Carb. You know, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's false. But let's actually watch. I think it's Matt that's up ahead. No, it's not. Click the wrong driver. Matt is improving, but no, it is his teammate up ahead, if I'm not mistaken, of Alessandro, who's starting his lap. So let's watch him. As he's coming through a Rouge Radion now. What Sector 1 can he do? That's going to be the question as of now. As he makes his way down the Kemmel Straight into the Lecombe Chicane. My personal favourite corner complex. It's really fast. It's all about, you know, not using too much track. Because you really got to set up through that corner to get the best optimal exit. For this mini straight, as you make your way down towards the double apex hairpin through No Name now, just brushing that outside curb, as you don't want to use all of it, as it can bottom out the car. Through Pouon now, just easy flat, halfway on the battery, so about 48% is in that Alpine, as you're going to really want to try and save as much from Sector 2, to use it all through Sector 3, into Blanchemont, into the bus stop chicane. Like I said, back in round 1, medium is going to be used more than hot lap. Hot lap doesn't need to be used. From what I've been told, it doesn't give as much of an effect, and it just drains more than it actually gives. Whereas medium, it gives the same as medium, but medium you can preserve more as we make our way down into the bus stop chicane. A little bit deep. That's not going to be ideal, as towards the line he will come. What lap time will it be? It's only going to be good enough for P15. A 41.402. Still not too shabby. Nick Arrow also on a lap here. 30.237, that's competitive to George Ansell's Sector 1 on his 40.6. So could we see maybe Nick Arrow say, you know what, no, I'm going for pole, as you can see there. Provisional Sector 2 fastest. That's very nice to see from the Mercedes. As you can see, Ryan Jacobs, he shoots that papaya up to that provisional P1. And it's now a papaya sandwich in the top 3. Nick Arrow, though, through the bus stop chicane. That's right on board with the CrowdStrike Mercedes. As towards the line, he will come. Will it be provisional pole? Yes, it will, with a 40.370. You can see Wilson Allway in the background as well. He improves the P3. What can George Ansell say to these guys? As, obviously, he wants that provisional pole. Also, Jan Luca, the man that's been Mr. Consistent on the podium. Let's see what he can produce here in Belgium. Let's ride on board with Matthew Roberts. As I don't think he's got the best Sector 1s yet. No, we don't. He's on a charge lap. I think he had a little bit of a wobble through La Source, maybe even a Rouge Radion. Really easy to do, especially on the exit of La Source. You go a little bit too deep. Lap ruined. You lose the rears a little. Lap ruined. It's really easy to do it, especially through La Source, as it's a slight downhill cambered corner. It's very, very awkward, as you go uphill, then back downhill, then back uphill through a Rouge Radion, as you saw via the track map. Red Mears, let's keep an eye on him. He's only 2 tenths down in Sector 2, But, I mean, maybe he just bottled the bus stop chicane. As that, nope, he's going into the pits. Jake Finch is also out on a lap. Let's go on board with JW here. Let's not, as he's invalidated his lap. Herman in the P9 spot. Is he on a lap? Yes, I believe he is. I'm sorry for the camera, by the way. It is offset. I just realized that. I actually haven't used the Red Bull in this game that much. And I changed my camera settings since the last time I used it. So that's why. So I will make sure it is all sorted for round 4 as he comes through this chicane. Missed the apex of this one to get a wide line entry towards the second bit of the chicane to get a good exit for that right-hander. It's all about their exit through that right-hander for the rest of Sector 3. You know, because you got to maximize your speed, not scrubbing too much through Blanchemont as well. I mean, it's just all about how much can you commit. See Matthew Roberts just getting out of the way for some drivers. Also, we have now a nice little, almost half the grid is, well, actually, exactly half the grid. No, not exactly. No, I'm sure I can't do maths, guys. But no, almost exactly half the grid are in the sub 41 range. And like I said, we would see lap times around a 40.4, 40.5, even lower. And we may even see maybe a cheeky 39. Maybe not. It really just depends on how ballsy you're feeling or how brave you're feeling through Lacombe into No Name and also into Puon. As you never know, could probably smack on the overtake through that. I'm joking. You'll lose the back end. I've tried it. Very embarrassing moment of my short F1 racing career. I'm going to have a quick munch of my prawn cocktail crisps as we wait for the drivers to get on a new set of softs and to start their laps yet again. Well, no Jake Finch is on the lap. You can enjoy this sector 1. Yeah. Alrighty then, I'm back. Very, very brave through this chicane, using all of the curb as humanly possible. A little bit of a wobble there as well, but it's fine. It's Jake Finch. He's actually gone purple in the Sector 2. He's a tenth and a half up here. This would be actually up towards the top 10, just behind his teammate Matthew Roberts. But what can he do through the bus stop chicane? As through Blanchemont, he will go now. Very nicely done. Very nice and smooth as well. Now, bus stop going down to that third gear, using all of the entry curb, not using as much on the second bit, which is fine, which is the optimal line. He goes towards the line, and he's up to P9. He's the 9th driver to get a sub 41. And he'll say, you know what? Yeah, I like that. And he actually retires that. Now, will he drop a few positions? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's a really good lap time, but just look at the drivers that are close behind, that aren't that far behind. Christoph, Herman, JW. You know, they're not far behind. They're only about a tenth and a half to 2 tenths off. Probably will lose that position, but it's still a whopping lap from the MoneyGram House driver. Let's actually watch. Nice little Christoph as he's coming through. He's just exited La Source, actually, and up towards Eau Rouge Radion. I said that. Eau Rouge Radion. There we go. Eau Rouge there. Now Radion. We've seen some horrific crashes through that corner complex, especially in the wet. So, let's hope we don't see that in WOR Tier 4 today. But, I mean, depending on how elbows out you're feeling, it could happen where a big crash could happen and the safety car comes out. 8 tenths found. 8 tenths? I mean, 8 thousandths found in that Sector 1. What about Sector 2, though? This is where it's a make or break sector. You make one small mistake through No Name or through Puon, the lap's over. Even through the chicane after Puon. I can't pronounce it. Okay, I would try pronounce. I'm just going to call it the Sector 2 chicane. Because you know when I'm talking about Lacombe, I'll say Lacombe. When I'm talking about this chicane, this is Sector 2 chicane to me because I don't know how to pronounce the corner name. As that's my worst thing as a commentator. I can't pronounce names. I could try and pronounce Herman's last name, but you'll all probably laugh your head off in the chat. And I mean, yeah, provisional fast is in the Sector 2. There is Christoph as he comes through Blanchimont. He's flashing. He's under 10% on the battery. He's burnt it all. Will he still find good improvement in this Sector 3? As if you burn too much in the first two sectors, your final sector is going to be absolute shambles. Luis improves up to P8, and it's only going to be good enough for P12 by 1/10th of a second. That is remarkably close. Matthew Roberts up to P9. Amos is beaten out. Is happening in the background there? It's Herman who's gonna be, no, it's not Herman who's up next. It is going to be George. He's up towards the line now. Will he find the improvement to move up position? He finds it's time improvement, but not a position improvement. That is not ideal. Let's go on board with Redmir's as he comes towards the line. Where will he go? He goes up to P13. He's almost gone to the sub 34 41 range. Ryan Jacobs goes to provisional pole. But what can Nick Arrow say? He is improving here, but will it be enough? It may just be enough, but I don't know. What will the Sector 3 split say as he comes towards the line now? Let's ride on board. It's going to be pole position. Can Sinan say anything, though? As that he is still on the lap here. No, he can't. So Nick Arrow is going to be the man on pole for, I believe, the second time in this season. I think he got pole in round 1. I may be mistaken. Please, if I'm mistaken, say that in chat. But oh my, he's absolutely flying. What a way to do it. Nice little win there for, oh, I say win there. Nice little pole position there for Nick Arrow. Really, really close qualifying like we saw in Spain. As you can just see, less than a 10th separates the first two people. Papaya McLaren looking very strong yet again. Also, Jan Luca, they're looking very, very mighty strong. Could we get another gleaming podium? George in the Kicksauber in that P5 spot. Sinan outdoing his teammate who's down out of the top 10. But Sinan in P6. Michael in P7. Luis in the Aston in P8. And I believe that was a Haas driver in the P10 spot and a V-Cub driver in the P9 spot. I may be mistaken. We'll find out when we get onto the grids. But oh my, that was a mighty close qualifying session. There you can see a little bit of the drivers on the grid. It's going to be a dry race. It looks to be as though there will be no rain. But obviously it's the F1 games. Expect the unexpected, they say. As there may be rain inbound. I don't know. I don't have any telemetry data, so I won't be able to give you guys that information. If there is a race engineer or something, tell us what's happening. Is there going to be rain? Is it going to remain dry for the remainder of the race? I'm quite curious, to say the least. Let's just see what these guys can actually do. Just wondering, what could the strategy be here today? Now, I don't know. I could talk about one of the league. I did a league race here, and I was very silly, and I thought it would be a good idea to jump the start. No, I let go of the clutch. Literally 1 millisecond too early, and it caused me to jump the start because the driver in front of me also jump started. So, my race engine, my good friend, Aspect, he was like, you know what, let's box this lap. We boxed the same lap. And, I mean, from that, I went from P4 on the grid, I went down to P15, and I went back up to P6, and I finished the race in P6. With a double stop, by the way. I went medium, hard, soft. The reason I went soft is because I was struggling on the hards, because I'm really bad at keeping tire wear. But these guys are better than me, so we may probably see a one-stopper here. We may even see a two-stopper. I won't be surprised if we see a two-stopper if there's a safety car. If there is a safety car, probably the two-stopper will probably be the fastest if it's early. If it's early, I don't know. Probably. If it's like in the first 4 or 5 laps, probably a double stop. because I don't think that hards can go 16 laps, 15 laps. You know, no, 17 actually. I don't think they can go that long. So double stop will probably be in the cards if there's an early safety car. Probably not a lap 1 safety car. Actually, yeah, probably. You'll probably see people boxing if there is a lap 1 safety car. Won't be surprised if there isn't. As after what we saw lap 1 Spain, could even be worse, as Turn 1 Los Source is known for carnage in not only F1 lobbies, but also real life. So we'll probably see a lot of carnage in Turn 1, and if not that, either Rouge Radion or Le Com. There's a lot of corners around Spa that are known for their carnage. Let's just see what these drivers can actually do. Will there be a lot of carnage, or will it be nice and clean, like you see in like Tier 1 WOR, which is also happening which is also happening soon. Round 1 was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I'm very excited, actually. Because Gianluca isn't on pole. Has he actually got a pole? I don't know. I don't know the stats. I should really get a stats. I have the standings. I just don't got the full stats of every race. I should note this stuff down. But yeah. So this is going to be a very interesting race. And why is that? Because there's going to be carnage. I'm betting. I'll bet a tango from my fridge. Again, I'm betting a tango. If you remember from Spain, I did the same. But anyway, enough about that. The lights are on. We've got the 5 red lights here. The engines are roaring. And there's a jump start in the background. And we are go, go, go for the 3rd time in WOR. It's a clean start from everyone. It's a jump start from Jake Finch. Side by side is Nick Arrow and Ryan Jacobs looking towards the back of the pack. Gianluca is side by side with the one and only George Ansel, I believe. No, George Ansel was actually solid in behind Gianluca Wilson, who and Michael Herman are just all side by side, 2 abreast, 3 abreast, I don't know. As we make it cleanly through Rouge Radion, let's look towards the back of the pack. I don't know why it says that Kevin is up near the top when he's actually near the back here. You can just see though Sinan round the outside of Jake Finch. He'll have the inside line for the 3rd bit of the com. Debris is flying all over the place. Don't know whose car that is off. He's off the Red Bull. Michael's got damage. That is not ideal. Gianluca is up to P4. There you can see possible strategies on the screen, but that is absolutely a yabbity-doo. Looking towards the back, they're 3 abreast into Puon. Oh my, Jake Finch, Kevin. That was very, you can just see that Kevin's off the track. Oh my. It's a clean start, mate, to say the least, but it's a very, you know, it's cleaner than it was in previous races. George is up to P3. Gianluca's up to P4. Wilson Hall, though, down 1 position. Not ideal for the driver, but Ryan Jacobs, he's like, you know what? Let me get into the lead. Let me storm away. But I think Nick Arrow may still be able to hold in on the Papaya's slipstream here. Dirty Egg can be a little bit of a bugger in that sector 2. As you can see, Ryan Jacobs taking the fast lap of the race. As of now, Michael's into the pits, may I say, and he's retired already. It's a lap 1 retirement from the Red Bull driver. Let's see what Herman can produce, and let's see if Red Bull can score more points this season. Amos, he's also up 2 positions. He started P10 at the race, and he's up to P8. Very lovely to see. Red Miz and Alessandro both also in contention of the top 10. Well, Red Miz in the top 10, but Alessandro not looking too shabby himself, up 5 positions. It's Herman, Red Miz, Axel, Alessandro, and Max. But look towards the front end. Wilson Hall's been knocked out of that DRS range. George, Nick, and Ryan, they're flying away here in Spa-Francorchamps. And Gianluca in the background, just holding on. Sinan also having an amazing start to the race, maintaining where he is in that P6 spot. Christoph has also retired. That is not ideal, as he is the main driver for VCarb. So I believe VCarb may go. I don't know. Is Axel the main driver? I have no clue. He may be. He may be the main driver. I may be mistaken. I'm sorry for the pause. Oh my, what a first opening 2 laps that was. There was a lot of drama, and no, James Watts, he's been shambled again. I think he had to box there. That's so unfortunate. Yeah, he had to box. No, he didn't. I don't know. I'm really confused. Maybe he had a jump start as well. I don't think so. But James Watts, he's been shafted yet again. Oh, he's not having a good start to the beginning of this season, to say the least. Jan Wilson, who's been able to clinch back into the DRS range. Amos, though, down to P8. He's almost been knocked out here. He's really got to lock it in and try and catch up. As he's got a pack of very, very fast and, to say the least, maybe angry drivers. As yes, he has. He's lost the DRS. The DRS flap will not open here. And that is very bad to see, but let's see. Maybe Herman, Amos, Redmiz can all work together to get back into that DRS range. Ryan Jacob leads the way from Nick Arrow. As you can see there, Herman making a move up to P8. He will go, but Amos is going to fight it. Look towards there. Beautiful, clean racing from the Alassian and Red Bull drivers. Redmiz in the background, though. He's going to be like, you know what? I want a bit of this. And a bit of it he will have. As we make our way down through No Name into Puon, as the Red Bull gets too much gravel on the rear left and almost goes tumbling into that inside barrier. Not too good there, but I bet Herman pooed his pants, as I would have. Bit of a scare that was. Let's look at the tyres. Everyone's on mediums in the top 10. Alessandro is also on the mediums. Only 4 drivers on the hards. Jake, JW, Matthew Roberts, and Kevin all opt onto the hards. We've seen Kevin go hards for all 3 races so far, and he's been able to do quite well with them. He's gone for the big overcut strategy, so I wonder, will he be able to maybe get in that top 10 with the overcuts? Nick Arrow has got George behind him, not far behind as well, so keep your eye out on that gap. But I want interval. Right. How do I... I've done something and I don't know. There we go. There we go. Anyway. Ryan Jacobs is absolutely flying right now, to say the least. He almost knocked out Nick Arrow. And George. He's the top 3 have knocked out. Wilson Hall as of now, and I mean, to be really honest, Sinan's looking really good. Are they going side by side? No. Herman was able to get the move just before Lacombe. And, I mean, we may even see Redmiz go for a move here. Nope. Wrong person. No, Redmiz does not go for the move. He's just going to sit behind. He's going to feel that dirty air through No Name, though. He does take an alternate line to kind of minimize the damage he gets from the dirty air. Why did I just have a blank head moment there? Why am I getting interval? I really don't know. I don't want that. No. Anyway. Let's go up towards the leads. As it is a 3-legged race so far, but I think Wilson Hall may not have the, so I think he's got higher wings here, as he's losing a lot in Sector 1, but he gains so much in that Sector 2 as well. Yeah, as you can see, let's actually ride on board with him. As through turn 1 we go, just really curious about, does he just not have the low enough wings? I think that may be the issue. As you can see, he will get DRS. He's also very low on the battery, so maybe he's got good wings. He's just burnt so much, where he's just going to be able to hold on to that DRS for this lap. I think everyone's really burning, though. As you can just see, Sinan maybe look for a move. No, just getting out that dirty air to cool down the tyres. As you can really, really overheat. I mean, I've done it personally. You stay too close behind a driver, especially through Sector 2. Overheat the tyres, they'll be dead by lap 7. We are 5 laps into the race already. Time has flown on by, you could say. Amos has got the pressure of Redmiz in behind. He's also got to try stay with Herman. These guys should not be fighting. They should be working together. Work with Herman. Get up towards that lead pack 7. As right now, it's 7 people for the lead, and then the bottom 8. So only the final 3 points positions are really up for grabs here for the remainder of the grid if you're not in the top 7. Sinan is just sitting really comfortably. He's got 8 tenths to the gap behind, so we could maybe try and look for a move on Gianluca. And then, if it doesn't work out so well, he will lose time, but he won't lose a position. Whereas if Luis was really close behind, he goes for a move, he makes a mistake, Luis could probably go for, like, you know, make an advantage of Sinan's mistake. But, I mean, that gap is just kind of dropped there. 2 tenths down from the Sector 3 timing. Whatever, it's the Sector 3 split. It was 8 tenths, it's now 5. And it's also really close towards the front end. Let's ride on board with George, as he will be only 2 tenths back from Nick. Will we maybe see a potential move in the making? As the top 3 are just flying away, but it's not too far back. As Wilson Hall's only 1.5 away. TF10 also, may I just say, 4 drivers in the top 4. Now, yes, they're in separate manufacturers here, well, or constructors, but they're all in the same esport team. So maybe they're all in the same VC together and working out a strategy. I don't know. But I mean, very, very fast drivers TF10 does produce. But you can say that with any top level esport team here. But I mean, from what I've seen personally, TF10, very, very good team as well as TRT. I do know some, I don't personally know, but I do know a lot of fast drivers in TRT. Gianluca being one of them. As you can see here, he's just got back in to that DRS range. Same with Wilson Hall. I think that what Wilson Hall does is he's able to catch in that Sector 2. He burns in Sector 2, whereas top 3 are burning on the straights. As you'll see, he'll probably get dropped in Sector 1 yet again. So, you know, I don't know. I may be mistaken, I may not be. I don't really know. We're just going to have to find out. Will he get dropped or will he not? Oh my! Very early boxing here. Are we seeing a cheeky double stop from George and Wilson? No, I don't think we will. No, I think the hards can last the remainder of the race here, as we do only have 15 laps to go. So, a big undercut here we may see. It's either a big undercut or just 1 lap undercut. I don't think there's going to be an in-between. Because 2 laps, 2-3 laps of an undercut, as you can just see Nick Arrow side by side through Lecom. They will go, but he'll get the move done before the apex. And what a sensational move that was. Almost made contact there. Ryan Jacobs almost hitting the back end of the Mercedes, but no. Very cleanly done, and what a move it was. Also, Kevin and Axel here also having a little bit of a scruff through Lecom. So, Lecom looking like a really good overtaking opportunity. Well, it's always been. I mean, look back to the 4 abreast into Lecom in the real-life F1. Back in when Sebastian Vettel was in Ferrari, I believe 2017. I may be mistaken. I don't got that much, you know, I can't remember all that way back. I was only, I mean, Jesus. I think I wasn't even like 10 in 2017. So, can't remember that far back. But anyway, Gianluca 2.3 away. The front people with the boxing of Georgia and Wilson, those guys being near, so the back. Obviously, Wilson Hall not in the DRS. Don't think he was. I think he was just on the edge of it. That's really shafted Gianluca here, as he's got Senan behind, but he you know, he's got to really maximize the DRS he does have, as we may see. Senan going for a move as Ryan Jacobs and Nick Harrow both enter that pit lane, both going onto the hard compound tire. And yeah, so it's only a 1 lap overcut, whereas for the top 4, whereas we will see Gianluca, Sinan, Luis and Redmiz all probably go for the 3 lap overcut. you know, the 2-lap overcut, maybe even 3, depending on how well these guys can work together. You never know. May have been like, I'm struggling on these tires. Let me box, let me cook. As you can see, Senna going down the inside just before Lecom. It'll get the move nicely done. And it's because of how long Kemmel is. It's so easy to get a move done, especially when you're second man in the train. I mentioned it back in round 1 when we had a hyperactive here. It's all about being second man in the train. You know, if you're going for that overcut, you know, you're going to have fresh tires. You're going to really want to fight your way into that second man position of whatever train you're in, even if it's for 11th. You know, you want to be second man because that's when you can go for the moves on the penultimate lap, on the final lap, because that's when you're going to be able to have the advantage because the guy in front of you doesn't have DRS. Whereas if you're in third man, you've really got to ride close with second if you want to take advantage of it. So that's why Sinan and, you know, we're seeing a lot of moves to Lacon when you're second man. Also, may I say, gap towards the leader here. Let's just look. George boxed on lap 7. We're going on to lap 9 here. And Sinan, we have a safety car. We have a safety car, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my. Maybe Sinan's going to lead. Sinan will lead the way as we are under Delta. Everyone's going to box that hasn't already. So the top 6 will box here. We even see Kevin in the background. He's going to have to do another box here. So we may see Kevin go on to mediums. But let's actually look at George here. Will he come out first? He boxed on lap 7. He's only on 2-lap old hards. Will he come out ahead of Sinan? I believe so. It's going to be close towards the line. Let's just see. It will be George who will lead the pack. But Nick Harrow... Oh my, Nick Harrow's going to be behind. No, he'll be in front of Gianluca, but he'll be behind Sinan. So Sinan's been absolutely gifted a top 3 here. As Matt had a little bit of a tumble through Lacom, I believe. Not Lacom, through a Rouge Radion. I looked on the map, it looked as though there was a light blue dot. I think he had a little bit of a tumble through there. Brought out a safety car. We have... let me do the maths. 13 laps to go. Or 12 if you're not including this one. But it's going to be a sprint to the finish like we saw in the final bit of Spain. As 22 laps. I would say it's one of the shorter races here. As, yes, it's 22 laps of the longest track. But we had 36 laps of Spain, which is a 1 minute 15 in race. We saw 1 minute 15s, 1 minute 16s. Well, in the race here, let's go. You see 1 minute 44s. So, the Spa is shorter than Spain, I believe. I may be mistaken. If I am, let me know. I believe Spa is actually one of the shorter races that you do in a 50% distance. But yeah, anyway, a lot of people kind of displaced after that safety car calling. You know, Nick Arrow, he was near the top. He's still near the top, but he's got Sinan. Now, what can Sinan do? We know he's got good pace. He had really good pace, actually, in Spain. He just got 3 abreast with turn 3. It's never what you want to do. He got out worst, I would say. And, but he sits comfortably in that P2 spot. Could be really good points for him. As, obviously, he was pointless in round 2. But I don't want to call anything too early. As, 1, commentator's curse is real. And 2, we've still got plenty of laps to go. We've got 12 laps left of this Grand Prix. Could you call it a Grand Prix? I think you can. And Gianluca also looking mighty strong. Will he be able to keep that podium streak going? A P4 would still keep him in the lead. But let's look at his teammate Amos. Down all the way into P16. He's boxing off of those hards. What's he going to? Ooh! I like this. Now, why do I like this? Safety car in this lap. he's going to be able to heat up those tyres. He's going to have less deg than, let's say, George and Nick, because obviously they did one proper lap, 1.5, yeah, 1.5 proper laps. So they've probably got about 3, 4, 5% wear. Now that is actually quite massive with this game's increase of tyre wear. I don't know how many times I'm going to mention it throughout this season, but it's about 6 times more than it was in F1 24. So in F1 24, you could do 9 laps on the softs around Bahrain, whereas you can't even use the softs around Bahrain, or you'll be boxing on a lap round 5, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if the strategy is still the same. So, what Amos, I believe his strategy is going to be is, he was already P15. He was already P15. So, he's like, you know what, let's go on to a fresh set of mediums. And, mediums, I mean hards. We've still got 12 laps to go. I'll be able to heat up my tyres now, as I believe safety car will be in this lap. He'll have the hottest tyres. He'll have the freshest tyres. He'll be able to, obviously, go to the end, and he'll be able to go full pelt. Everyone will technically be able to go full pelt, but I think Amos, just keep your eye out on him. That's what I will say. Jake Finch as well. This safety car's sort of been a blessing for him. Getting that drive through at the start wasn't the best. You could sort of say you learned it from me, but no, I'm kidding. But never what you want is a jump start around Spa. But pit lane's actually quite short. I believe it's only a 21-second long pit lane because we don't use the endurance layout, which is obviously the pit lane that goes all the way up through Eau Rouge. But safety car will be in this lap. Let's look towards the front end here. I have my pasta brought to me by my very wonderful sister. I also got my cheese. But we'll be green flag racing, and I believe George may even go early. Let's just ride on board with him. He's going now. So we are back to the green flag racing. Sinan's on his backside, and he's definitely not caught napping. It's very close between the top two. Will we maybe even see a move in the making into Lacombe? As look how close he is. Only about 3 tenths, I would say, separate the front two, and maybe a little bit less as the gap is extending. Alessandro's getting dropped. He's down 3 positions. Redmere, 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags here. That is massive. As you can just see, yeah, he's AI. That is why. But let's go back towards the front. Sinan go for the move into Lacombe. He'll get the move beautifully done. But I think George will look for the switcheroo. Oh, just could have almost had it. Sinan, though, just gave just enough room, which just didn't allow George to go for the switcheroo. That would have been absolutely sensational from George. It was beautiful racing, nevertheless. But that move probably would have gone into WOR history. As probably move of the season. If he was able to get that done. He'll probably be able to get something similar in the next coming few laps. Let's look towards Ryan Jacobs. He's not far behind Jan Luca. And obviously with DRS not being enabled this lap, this is where you really want to pounce. Make use of all that ERS. As once you're in that DRS train, that's when you can save. But as DRS is not enabled, burn it, burn it, burn it. Be aggressive, go for those moves. And I think that's what we may see here from Ryan Jacobs. And maybe to the bus stop. Let's just see. As making our way run. He's got a big enough gap where if he can't get the move settled, he'll be able to still slot back into 5th. But no, he won't go for the move. Sinan, though, he's on an absolute charge, almost dropping George out of that DRS range. So, Sinan, he's got the pace. Not only that, but he's got the tyres to go to the end. So Sinan could be looking at his first win here in Season 21. Or could we maybe crown maybe Jan Luca or Nick Harrow? Could they get their second win? Could we have 3 different race winners in the first 3 rounds? I hope so, as that would make for an interesting start to the season. You can see in the background just different sort of trains usage as he's gone for the dummy move. Nick's allowed him the space. Ryan Jacobs may be able to pounce, but I don't know. Through Lacombe, Nick Harris is in the gravel. This is sensational racing. You've got Ryan Jacobs going for the move down towards the inside. Nick Harrow with the inside for no name though, and he'll be able to stay ahead for that P4 spot. This is sensational racing in the top field of Tier 4 here. I'm loving this. But all of this malarkey is allowing the top two to sort of run away. As 1.1 is the gap from George and Gianluca. So, this is going to really allow George to just sort of sit behind and play sort of mind games, you could sort of say. Go for a fake move here, maybe go for a move here. Sit in that P2 spot, because this is really where you want to be. Just make sure you don't lose Sinan, because Sinan seems to be surprising people. I mean, I know he's a really fast driver, but didn't expect him to be all the way in the front and almost gapping people out of the DRS range. As he wasn't there in qualifying. He wasn't near the top. Well, he's up 5 positions. He started P8. He was in the sub 41s, but he wasn't as low as, let's say, George. So, I mean, I wasn't expecting him to be leading the race, to say the least. 9 laps left to go of this race, and it's just getting spicy. Gianluca has dropped Nick Arrow. So Gianluca, if he can knock it in and, catch up to the front two, we may see a very, very cheeky 3-way fight as they'll go 3 abreast into Lecom. It's going to be Luis. He's going to come out on top. Ryan Jacobs with the outside line. He may look for a move through the last bit of Lecom here. That was sensational. 3 abreast. Almost could have been 3 abreast throughout Lecom, but no. Nick, I was like, you know what, I'm going to live to fight another day. I'm going to back out here and live to fight another day. He will, but he's in between the papayas. Not where you really want to be, as they could do something, they could do some team games, maybe not, maybe, you never know. You never really know. As Luis, though, really coming out strong. He's also cut down the gap in half. From we start the lap with a 1.1, it's almost been chopped in half by Luis after getting that P4 spot. Will he be able to get back-to-back 4th places, or will he even maybe be able to get a podium? That's what we want to see. Sinan, though, I'm looking very strong. He does have George, though. Recent promotion into the Kick Sauber main, and let's just see what he can actually do. Could he win on his debut race in Kick? Let's find out, shall we? Matthew Roberts and Herman having a nice little battle in the back. Luis with the fastest lap. Matthew Roberts, he's gonna... No, he won't be... It looked like they were about to be side by side through La Source, but no. He's up to P8. His teammate's still all the way down to P15. And Amos, looking for the moves. He's got to try and get a move on James Watts. But those tyres, I mean, he's got mediums in front, so soon he'll be on the advantage. George and Sinan side by side through Lecom. Will we see a little bit of a switcheroo through the last bit of Lecom? No, we won't. George doesn't want to lead here. Very understandable. Leading in Spa is not what you want to be doing, especially sort of near the midway to the end of the race, where in a really good spot at a chance for a win. You've got the gap behind. This is when you want to sort of work together in the Sector 2. Don't throw a dummy move into the Sector 2 chicane, because that's when you're going to lose all the time. You can throw a move into Lecom, because you gain so much with the DRS, but you can't throw a move into Sector 2. And, well, anyway, Gianluca is able to cut the gap in half from the start of the lap. It was a 1.5, and it's now 6 tenths. So, Gianluca's like, you know what, I've put it into nitrous gear. I found the 9th gear, and we're going to move forwards. And maybe Gianluca could be in for a win. He's got in that DRS, and don't let the 7 and 5, the 2-lap difference between Gianluca and George fool you, as obviously George got onto the hards, and then a lap and a half later it was safety car, so he's probably got about 4% more wear. The people I think we should keep our eye out for is actually Nick Arrow, just getting knocked out of DRS here. Very, very not ideal. Will he get a good enough exit? Yes, he will. Or will he? Maybe he will he? I think he's just got into that DRS range. We're just going to have to find out. Through the Kemmel corner, onto the Kemmel straight. Will he have the DRS flap open? No, he won't. He didn't get DRS. Oh, no. Sinan retakes the... Well, I say retakes the lead, but will remain in the lead. And I'm actually losing my voice. Because of what's actually happening here. It's so immense. It's spectacular racing. Let's actually look towards the mid-pack here. Herman, not far behind Matthew Roberts. He's on hard compound tyres. Those mediums will be nearer so entering or exiting that 25 degradation zone. Now, if you know from previous F1 games, that 25% deg zone is the first pace drop-off, I would say. 25, 40, 55. For me, those are where I start to lose big pace. The 25 will start to lose about 2 to 3 tenths, maybe even more, maybe even upwards of 5. 40%, I'll start to lose 7 tenths to a second. It depends on if you're in clean air, if you're, you know, all those factors. But when I do racing, that's sort of, I lose 25, I lose about 5 tenths. 40%, I lose about 7 to a second. 55, that's when I lose about a second upwards of raw pace. And also comfortability in the tyres. So Matthew Roberts, I mean, he's on mediums. He's on fresher mediums than the guys in front. Oh, well, I say fresher mediums, but fresher tyres than the guys in front. Is it going wet? Because James Watt has gone for the gamble for the inters early on. It's going grey skies. It's starting to rain. Oh my lords. The final 6 laps of this race may be wet. This is going to be absolutely amazing. Has James Watts just gone for an absolute gamble? And how well will it pay for him? This is going to be an interesting end to the race. The top 5 are all back linked up. It's all going to be about when do you want... Oh my god, Nick Harris DNF'd. What's happened? What's happened to Nick Arrow? There's a massive gap between P6 and 5. What have I just missed? We have a safety car. Are we going to see drivers gamble for the intermediate compound tyre? This race has been shaken up completely. We've got raindrops falling. Let's just ride on board. You can see rain is falling. Nick Arrow's been DNF'd yet again. What has this race turned into? Oh my lords. You can't script this enough. Well, this race isn't scripted, I promise. But you can't, like... Oh my. Wait, what's the word? Flabbergasted. There we go. Woohoo! I said it right. Normally I get that word wrong, by the way. That's why I'm quite hyped. Oh my, though. And, that allows me to have some food. Thank you very much. Thanks for the DNF. I'm sorry you DNF, but thank you. I can now have a food break. My question is, yeah, we're boxing for the inters. Oh my. This race is shaking up. Oh my. This race has been flipped upside down, to say the least. And I've got a lovely, lovely, pasta. So I'm going to have a little bit of that while we just watch the drivers form up. Now, actually, this is bad. Why is it bad? Look at Wilson Hall. He wasn't P8, he was P6. But because they've had to double stack, it's allowed Herman and Matthews to get in between them. And basically, it's going to be a free-for-all. Also, who had the 10-second? I don't know. James Watts gets a drive-through. Isn't this his second drive-through? This is his second drive-through, isn't it, guys? He got a drive-through in Spain and DNF'd off of it. Oh. I feel so bad. Both Mercedes are out. Oh, man. Oh. That is not ideal. Mercedes are going to be pointless yet again. 3 rounds in a row. James Watts was their only hope, as Nick Arrow is a reserve driver. And also, my question is who's fast in the wet? And who's sort of changed their... It's not too wet. You could probably get away with staying on mediums. But, obviously, it's going to get wetter. What in the Will Buxton quote did I just say? Oh my. It's wet, but it's going to get wetter. Of course it's going to get wetter. It's bloody raining. Herman Polakov, Did I say that right? I probably didn't. But anyway, down into P7. When I say down, this is going to be huge. We're talking a low taper fade meme massive points for the Red Bull team, as they are on only 2 points. And it is normal point scoring format, so if you want to do it with me, it'll be 12, 10, 8, 6 points for Red Bull. So though they will be quadrupling their current points with where Herman sits, because they will go from 2 to 8, and 2 times 4 is 8. Oh, look at me. I should be a maths teacher, you know. Anyway, one more lap under the safety car conditions, and we'll be back to green flag racing. Well, I say green flag racing, I mean green flag boat racing, you could say. As it's Spa, it gets very, very wet and very, very quick. Let's just say a Rouge Radion is going to turn into a death trap. So, maybe even Puon. You see a dry line forming. Will it get wet enough where we won't see a dry line? Probably won't be, as we do only have 4 laps left to go, and I need to eat some more food because I'm hungry. Not gonna lie, big ups to sister. She's just made me an absolute amazing pasta. Help me get W sister in the chat. I'm joking. Well, I'm not. Like, I didn't ask for my sister to make me dinner. She's just made me dinner. I didn't even have to ask her. Who's P1, man? It's Sinan. Sinan is P1. It's, you've missed a lot if you're just joining the stream. It's, let's just say it's a very interesting race so far. Sinan is on the pole position and will lead the way when we get green flag racing. George, though, is not far behind. And let's see how quick he is in the wet conditions. Jan Luca, safety car is in this lap. Jan Luca is in the P3 spot and looking to keep that podium streak going. Luis in the P4 spot in the Aramco Aston Martin. But he does have Ryan Jacobs in behind. Ryan Jacobs, I believe, is the... hasn't scored... I may be mistaken. I think they scored points round 1. But Ryan Jacobs looking to score a lot of points for Papaya. Both of them, as Wilson all down at 8th. But Ryan Jacobs... let's see what he can do. Will he be able to progress into that podium spots? We'll just have to find out. Matthew Roberts and Herman Apolikov in P6 and 7. Wilson Hall in P8. Axel in P9. And Kevin Woost in P10. I said that last name really bad. 4 laps to go. It's going to be a 3-lap sprint race towards the line. It's going to be Sinan to lead the way from George, from Jan Luca, from Luis, from Ryan Jacobs. We're back to green flag racing, and he's already wonky all the way. He's Tokyo drifting around the final corner. Down towards La Source. It's going to be DRS disabled. It's all going to be down to the driver's skill. Let's ride on board with George, as he's going to be the one to first attack Sinan. Will he be close enough to go for a move? Jake Finch making wondrous moves in the background. He's side by side with Kevin for P10. They'll go side by side through a Rouge Radion, but Jake Finch, the man that got a drive-through penalty at the start, let's see what he can do, as he's got 1 point as of now, but let's see how many more points he can score in the remainder. Side by side is Jan Luca and George through the Lecombe chicane. George going a little bit deep, forcing Jan Luca deep as well, and this is going to allow Luis and Ryan Jacobs to both attack into the next coming corner of turn 6. You can see there, Ryan Jacobs going for an absolutely amazing send down the inside. A little bit of a tap on the curb, they'll go. Will he go for the switchback through No Name? They make a little bit of contact on that rear wheel of the Aston, and that is not going to be ideal. Sinan is flying away. He's made the 1.1 second gap lead he needs. And this could be the man's first win in Season 21 PC Tier 4. And that would be absolutely huge. Gianluca, though, will he be able to get a P2? That would mean he scored a position in... He would score a podium position in each race. And what do I mean by that? He scored a P3 in round 1. He won in round 2. And if he can tackle George here, it will be a P2, which will be, he scored a different podium spot in each race. But I don't know. It's a little bit of fighting through Lacombe costed George a lot of time. But George is looking mighty fast. He's cut the time down massively. I don't know if Sinan is Turkish. He may be, he may not be. I don't really know. Luis, though, the reserve driver, will he be able to score yet another P4? We have 2 laps left to go. And Jake Finch isn't far behind Axel for that P9 spot. He's got a lot in the battery tank. Will he make his way up a few more positions? Dirty air in the wet is not a good combo. And the track is getting mighty wet. I can't see a dry line. So, this is not going to be ideal. George is gapped Gianluca. He's gaining on Sinan. This could be a fight on the final lap. This could be an absolute hands in the air, absolute cinema last lap battle we have on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. But keep your eye out. Keep your eye out on Luis, as he's not far behind Gianluca for that P3 spot. Who's going to get the final podium position? That's up for grabs still. I don't know about the front 2, though. They've sort of said bye-bye to the rest of the field, as it's a 1.6 second gap between first and third. It's absolutely immense today. Also, let's talk about Jake Finch real quick. The man that got the podium position in Spain. He was the only non-Williams driver there. And let's just see what he can do as he's catching up in the back end of the sugar-free Red Bull or the V-Carb up ahead. This is going to go to the absolute line, I must say. Ryan Jacobs also not far behind Luis. This would be a great point for the Papaya McLarens if they can both get in towards the points, which I don't think they've done this season so far. It's just all about... Also, look at Herman. He's on the back end of Matthew Roberts as we make our way through Blanchimont up towards the bus stop chicane. I think Herman Polakov had to actually lift through Blanchimont, which is never ideal. A little bit of a rear slide through the bus stop chicane, but it actually gives him good cornering speed as it sets him up for the second bit of the chicane, and he gets a good exit, and he's got his eyes set on the back end of that MoneyGram Haas. As we make our way through La Source, they both go deep, but Herman gets a better line through. Side by side is Axel and Jake Finch for the P9 spot, but it's going to be Jake Finch who will come out on top. Also, George is remarkably close to the back end of the Scuderia up in front. This is going to go towards the line. Alessandro and also Axel all have 3-second time penalties, so that's going to mean Amos and Redmers are both going to almost score points. No, it's only going to be Amos. Just be careful, though, as you've got Axel really close to the back end of Jake Finch. Also, Polakov not far behind Matthew Roberts here for that P6 spot. As you can just see, they're going side by side. Jake Finch has been actually knocked off the road, and that's allowed Amos to get up to P10, and it may even allow him to get P9 upwards at the end of this race. Upwards towards the front end of the grid. Sinan Jr. is in the lead by 0.8 of a second. This is absolutely massive for the Scuderia Ferrari. He's been absolutely flying in the treacherous wet conditions here around Spa-Francorchamps. And, I mean, George, he's not far behind, but he's also got Gianluca, the championship leader, not far behind. He's breathing down the neck of the Kick Sauber up in front. And this is going to be a very spicy final lap. It's going to be elbows out. It's going to be foot to the floor. And I hope you all got your popcorn ready, as we are going to be on the edge of the seats near the final sector of this lap. Sinan will round the final corner to start the final lap. The final 7 kilometers left to go. He was a little bit wonky at the exit of the bus stop chicane. It's really close though. 7 tenths in my eyes in wet conditions. Anything can happen. One singular mistake through Eau Rouge, through Le Com, through No Name. It's gonna be massive. There is a caution in Sector 2. No, there isn't, because we're not even in Sector 2. It's a game bug. What am I saying? It's 4 tenths. It's 5 tenths. The kick Sauber is closing. Down the Kemmel Straight we will go. It's the Scuderia flashing its lights. Jake Finch has a 3-second time penalty. Oh my, through Le Com we will go. George is almost on the back end, on the exhaust pipe of the Scuderia Ferrari up in front. That safety car call earlier in the race was absolutely vital for Sinan's race. It shafted George though. But who's going to be able to come out on top? It's too hard to decide. They're too close together. We're going to go through Sector 2 now. And oh my, it's going to be towards the line, I would say. Also, keep your eye out on Ryan Jacobs on the back end of Luis, Redmirs and Amos. They're fighting for point positions. Who's going to finish higher? And that's going to mean who gets that 10th spot. Redmirs, they're down to P13. I think we know who may be the winner here. Jan Luca is really on the back end of George Anderson. Oh, Anderson? Oh my God, no. George, I don't know why I said Anderson there, but Jan Luca, it'll be towards the line. Amos and Jake Finch are fighting it out, but Amos will get the points depending on what Redmirs does. Sinan, though, he'll be coming through the final bit of Sector 3, through Bronchmont now. George is too far back. We can crown Sinan the race winner, as through the bus stop chicane he will come. The reserve driver, he's filled in for the Scuderia Ferrari driver. He'll round the final corner. See the checkered flag waving. He's won in Spa for round 3 into season 21. It's George on the podium, followed by Jan Luca. Luis has gone back-to-back for P4. Ryan Jacobs in P5, Matthew Roberts in P6, Herman Polikov in P7, Wilson Hall in P8, Axel, and not Jake Finch, but it's Redmirs who finishes out and that rounds out the top 10, ladies and gentlemen. What a race here in Spa-Francorchamps. Didn't expect the wet. It looked really, really bone dry at the start. There's your man, the race winner Sinan, on the top step of the podium. He's Hungarian. Ooh. George in that P3 spot. He's running, who is that F1 Esports driver? I should know. But anyway, the man on the P3 spot as well, Jan Luca, he keeps the podium streak alive. He'll extend his lead in the championship over his teammate. And also Nick, as Nick unfortunately DNF'd with his teammates as well, James Watts. Oh my, what a interesting round 3 race that was, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I bleeming did. Here's your top 10. It's Sinan out on top with George in P2, Jan Luca in P3, Luis in P4, Ryan Jacobs in P5, Matthew Roberts, Herman Polikov, Wilson Hall, Axel and Redmirs rounding out the top 10 with a little bit of argy-bargy in the back end. I was going to go watch that, but I just really didn't want to leave that front end fight. I am sorry for Amos and stuff. I wasn't watching your fight. I normally try and give enough screen time to everyone, but unfortunately, I just didn't do it today. That was probably one of the best race we've had so far in Tier 4. Less DNFs, a lot more action, and even track changing conditions. That's what you love to see. And despite the changing conditions, all drivers coped brilliantly, and Sinan came out on top. That safety car call when Matt DNF'd, that was crucial for him to get that win today. He was able to get P2, and he's converted it into a win. Very beautifully done from Sinan. George as well, from P5 on the grid, he's moved himself up to P2. And also, Jan Luca finishing P3, started P3. That's Mr. Consistency in my eyes. I would say drive of the day in my eyes will either go to George or Sinan, as Sinan got really lucky with that safety car, but he drove fantastically, leading the way. He had laps led. It wasn't like he stole the lead from George on the final lap. He led laps. He almost dropped George as well. So, to be honest, I think my drive of the day today goes to him. For round 4 in PC Tier 4, we will be heading to the very wonderful, the very brilliant, let me get it, we will be going to Texas. Well, United States. I believe it's either Texas or Miami. Wait, it may be Miami. I can't tell. It's just a United States flag on the standings, and it just says, I think it's Miami. Or it's either Miami or Texas. But anyway, that was PC Tier 4. It was a very exciting race. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope I see you all back here next Monday for PC Tier 4 Round 4. And maybe we'll be able to crown another new race winner. We've got 3 race winners now. And a reserve. 2 reserves are 2 of them. So, very lovely to see. Williams do extend their lead in that constructor standings. And Gianluca will extend his lead in the driver standings. Very well driven from everyone. And I hope you all enjoyed this race. Goodbye. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Arrivederci.